young people, I have a story time for you. This is something that God kind of reminded me of a little bit earlier today, and I thought it would help you out. And we're going to title this video, just knowing your identity, because I think that sometimes with our young people, you guys fight with your identity so much that sometimes you just need confirmation that who you are is really just who God has called you to be. But anyway, let's move on in. So let's take this back to I was about maybe 18. I think I was about 18 or 19 at the time. And I was heavily into, again, trying to get my music career started because that's what I wanted to do. And I wanted to tour the world and sing and do music. That's where I found joy and peace. And so I got teamed up with this lady. And she was considered as my manager. And I actually worked for this lady inside of her house, answering phone calls for her and things like that. But I noticed that as time went on, I literally was being asked to kind of like change my identity a little bit. Around this time, Ciara was really popping at the time. She had came out and she was rising to the charts very quickly. She had started becoming a household name. And I was just like, oh, wow, you know, she's cool. And she was dope to me, right? It seemed more edgy like me and not so much of in a box, like how I felt. I wasn't in a box. And then she started telling me to study her. And at the time, I did not know that at that time that, you know, that was kind of like, you're trying to change me. You're not allowing me to be who I was. You know, when you're young, you're just going to listen because you think that this is the best. She's know what she's doing. She's worked with artists before and blase. So I didn't think too much of it. And I noticed that she wanted me to sing like her, dress like her. She wanted me to study her just over and over and over. And I was just like, you know, at some point, even back then, when, of course, I knew God, I've been in church my whole life, but the relationship was not there. And what I started feeling in my spirit was that this lady wanted me to be so much like this girl that's already out. Like, she's already out. The world already knows her name. We don't need two Ciaras. I'm Lakia, you know. And I had this discernment that I just was feeling uneasy about changing my identity. And because this lady pressured me to change my identity so much, that's what she wanted me to do, to change my identity. She wanted me to be and become just like this girl that the world knew. And thank God, long story short, you know, that contract ended. It came to an end very quickly because we didn't coincide together. But the moral of this story is what I'm trying to say is that you don't let anybody come in and change your identity. You don't let anybody come in and say, oh, you have to be this way, that way. Be your authentic self. All right. Be who God has called you to be. Because if I really would have really accepted that, probably would be a different story by now. My story probably wouldn't even look like it looks right now, or I wouldn't even be the person I really am right now because I allowed someone to come in and try to change who I was. So remain authentic, remain in your authentic self. Don't try to change, because see, if God is going to elevate you in an area, wherever he's called you to dominate in the earth, you have to go in as your authentic self, and you can't go in like anybody else because it doesn't last. Anything fraudulent, anything counterfeit, anything that is a copycat, it will not last. So your identity is very important, especially in these stages of your life, young people. Let God mold you and show you, you know, how to be, and just be you. And that's really the moral of my story. Please don't be like me. And I've seen, you know, in the past with that lady that she changed a lot of kids or young people that were coming into the industry who didn't know any better, who didn't have wise counsel, and it didn't go well. So that's my story time. You guys make sure you like, subscribe to my channel, and share with somebody, because I'm sure one of your friends need to hear this too. Bye.